Light and darkness, two eternal forces shaping the destiny of humanity. Since the dawn of civilization, no conflict has captured our imagination more than the battle between good and evil, between heaven and hell, between God and the greatest rebel of all, Lucifer. But what if everything you thought you knew about this story was only a fragment of the truth? What if I told you that hidden within the ancient texts of the Ethiopian Bible and the Book of Enoch lies a version of Lucifer's fall that you've never heard before? A story left out of the Western canon, yet preserved intact for thousands of years in Ethiopia. In the Ethiopian Bible, the oldest surviving Christian scripture, and especially in the Book of Enoch, we discover a tale that rewrites the narrative. A tale of the Watchers, angels sent to guard humanity, who reveal a perspective on heaven and earth that's vastly different from what most of us have been taught. Why was this version protected in Ethiopia yet erased in the West? What really happened in the war in heaven? And perhaps most importantly, what do these ancient truths reveal about the eternal struggle between light and darkness? Today, we will journey into these forgotten texts, uncovering secrets that could transform everything we believe about the fall of Lucifer and the angels who followed him. The brilliant light of heaven floods the celestial realm, and within its radiant glow, an angel stands before the Creator's throne. That angel is Lucifer, the morning star, the light bearer, the most perfect of all God's creations. Yet, it was this very brilliance, this perfection, that sowed the seeds of the greatest tragedy in heaven's history. The story of Lucifer's fall is one of the most familiar narratives in Western Christian tradition. But have we truly grasped its depth? What could possibly drive a being of such perfection to challenge the Creator who gave him life? In Isaiah 14:12-15, we find this haunting passage. How you have fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. You said in your heart, I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. It paints a vivid image of a celestial being consumed by pride, a being who dared to dream of standing equal with the Most High. Lucifer, the morning star, the son of the dawn, is portrayed as radiant yet dangerously ambitious. In Ezekiel 28:12-17, we're given another glimpse into his original beauty and perfection. You were the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone adorned you. You were anointed as a guardian cherub, for so I ordained you. You were on the holy mount of God. Lucifer's fall is a tragedy of the highest order, transcending a simple tale of good versus evil. It shows us how even the noblest virtues can become destructive when left unchecked by humility. Western tradition teaches us that Lucifer's downfall wasn't the result of a single wicked act. It was the weight of his own perfection. His dazzling beauty, his unmatched intellect, his exalted position, they became the source of his pride. Instead of reflecting the Creator's glory, Lucifer turned inward, allowing these gifts to breed self-absorption. This story has left a profound mark, reaching far beyond religious texts. In John Milton's Paradise Lost, Lucifer emerges as a deeply tragic character declaring, "Better to reign in hell than serve in heaven." Milton's portrayal has shaped our modern view of Lucifer, a being of immense pride and intelligence, undone by his own ambition. In art and literature, Lucifer often walks the line between villain and tragic hero. From Renaissance masterpieces to modern TV series, he's a figure of complexity, both feared and strangely compelling. At its heart, the Western narrative of Lucifer's fall is more than a tale of betrayal. It's a profound meditation on free will, on the choices we make, and the consequences they bring. It forces us to ask difficult questions. Where is the line between rightful ambition and dangerous pride? Between recognizing our worth and allowing that awareness to lead to destruction? But is this the whole story? While the Western tradition emphasizes pride and rebellion, other ancient texts, especially the Ethiopian Bible and the Book of Enoch, offer alternative perspectives. Perspectives that may challenge everything we think we know about the greatest fallen angel in history. In the ancient caves of Ethiopia, a different story of the fall of angels has been preserved for millennia. This is not the tale of a solitary, prideful angel, but of 200 watchers, angels charged with observing and guarding humanity, who made a decision that forever changed the course of heaven and earth. The Book of Enoch, a cornerstone of the Ethiopian Bible, reveals a deeper, more complex narrative about the fall of these angels. Excluded from the Western canon in the 4th century, this sacred text has remained a part of the Ethiopian Church's scripture. Its revelations could transform the way we understand the relationship between angels and humanity. According to the Book of Enoch, as humanity flourished on earth, a group of angels known as the Watchers was tasked with observing and protecting them. Led by Samyaza, these 200 angels watched from their heavenly station until something unexpected happened. The Watchers became captivated by the beauty of mortal humans, especially the women. Faced with a fateful choice, Samyaza and his companions had to decide: should they continue their sacred duty or abandon their heavenly positions for the humans they had grown to love? Their decision would change everything. The Watchers not only left heaven, they crossed a forbidden line. They imparted divine knowledge to humanity, sharing secrets meant to remain in the heavens. Azazel, one of the most prominent Watchers, taught humanity the art of forging weapons from metal. Others revealed knowledge of astronomy, sorcery, and the mysteries of nature. But their union with humans brought forth the Nephilim, giant beings of immense strength and power. These hybrids, born of angels and humans, inherited divine abilities but lacked balance. They were powerful but deeply flawed. Unlike the Western tale of Lucifer, the fall of the Watchers wasn't born of pride or rebellion. According to the Book of Enoch, they fell because of love and a desire to share knowledge with humanity. This story challenges us to rethink the nature of sin. Was it truly a sin to share wisdom, or was it an act of compassion driven by love? But every choice has consequences. The Watchers were cast into eternal darkness, chained until the day of judgment. Their children, the Nephilim, caused such chaos on earth that God intervened through the great flood, wiping the slate clean. This tale raises profound questions. What does it mean to love across boundaries? Is the pursuit of knowledge inherently dangerous? And where is the line between compassion and transgression? The Book of Enoch offers a story not just of rebellion and punishment, but of the fragile boundary between heaven and earth. It's a tale of love, ambition, and the unforeseen consequences of crossing divine limits. But is this the whole story? Could these ancient texts reveal new truths about the eternal conflict between heaven and hell? And perhaps most importantly, what lessons do they hold for us today? Under the eternal night sky of heaven, a secret gathering unfolded. Samyaza, the leader of the Watchers, stood before his 200 comrades. Bathed in the shimmering light of the stars, they faced a decision that would forever change the fate of heaven and earth. This was no ordinary rebellion against God. It was a choice born from what these angels believed to be love and compassion for humanity. Samyaza was no reckless rebel. As one of the most powerful angels, he had been entrusted with leading the Watchers in their sacred mission to observe and protect humankind. But over time, as they watched humanity grow, Samyaza and his companions developed a deep affection for those they were tasked to guard. One fateful night on the summit of Mount Hermon, Samyaza convened the Watchers. There, under the vast canopy of stars, he proposed an oath, a pact that would bind their fates together. They would abandon their heavenly posts, not for rebellion, but to love humanity and share with them the sacred knowledge of heaven. When the Watchers descended to earth, they brought both love and secrets. Azazel taught humanity the art of forging metals and crafting weapons. Others shared the mysteries of astronomy, enabling humans to read the stars. They introduced advances in medicine, cosmetics, and even sorcery. At first, this knowledge ignited a revolution. Humanity leaped forward. Simple cave dwellers became city builders, inventors, and creators of culture. But with this knowledge came consequences no one foresaw. Weapons, once tools for survival, became instruments of war. the wisdom of the stars turned into a means to manipulate fate. And then, from the union of angels and humans, came the Nephilim. These hybrid beings, born from the divine essence of their fathers and the mortal nature of their mothers, were extraordinary. They possessed immense power, towering stature, and intelligence that far surpassed ordinary humans. But their very existence disrupted the natural order. Too powerful to live as ordinary beings, and not divine enough to belong in heaven, the Nephilim became a symbol of imbalance. The Book of Enoch describes how the Nephilim, with their strength and knowledge, began to dominate humanity. They consumed resources, brought chaos, and blurred the sacred boundaries between heaven and earth. The world descended into turmoil. God's intervention became inevitable. Loyal angels, Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, were sent to restore balance. The watchers were chained in darkness, their judgment deferred until the final day. But the Nephilim posed the greatest dilemma. Their overwhelming influence threatened the survival of the world itself. In the end, the Great Flood was the only solution. It washed away the corruption, erasing the physical presence of the Nephilim and offering humanity a new beginning. The flood wasn't just a cleansing of the earth. It was a spiritual reset, a second chance to rebuild in harmony with divine order. This story leaves us with profound questions. Were the Watchers truly wrong to love humanity? Is the sharing of knowledge inherently a sin, or does it depend on how that knowledge is used? And most importantly, what are the consequences of crossing the delicate boundary between heaven and earth? As we turn to the heavenly battles described in the Ethiopian Bible, these questions take on even deeper meaning, revealing one of the most poignant and thought-provoking tales in all of religious history. In the eternal expanse of heaven, where the radiant light of divine glory seemed never to fade, an unprecedented conflict erupted. The Ethiopian Bible and the Book of Enoch recount a battle that not only reshaped heaven itself, but also profoundly influenced the course of human history. This conflict did not arise from a single act of rebellion. It was the culmination of a gradual estrangement as the Watchers, led by Samyaza, began to drift from their sacred duties. Together with powerful allies, including Azazel, they formed a coalition that would challenge the divine order. But this was no ordinary battle. It was a struggle of ideologies. On one side stood the Watchers and their followers, convinced that their actions, sharing knowledge and enlightenment, would benefit humanity. On the other side stood the loyal angels, who understood that breaking divine boundaries would lead to catastrophic consequences. In this time of darkness, one angel emerged as a beacon of hope and unwavering faith: Michael, the archangel. The Ethiopian Bible paints Michael as more than just a warrior. He was the embodiment of divine justice, steadfast in his resolve to uphold the sacred order. Under his leadership, the loyal angels united, forming a force that would defend heaven at all costs. The battle unfolded in three pivotal phases. Phase 1, the confrontation. Michael and the forces of the Watchers clashed in a struggle where light and darkness intertwined. Armed with the sword of justice, Michael led the charge, his faith and purpose unshakable. The Watchers, despite their numbers and experience, could not withstand the sheer force of divine purpose. Phase 2, the synergy of archangels. The tide turned when Gabriel and Raphael joined the fray. Gabriel, with his celestial trumpet, shook the very foundations of heaven, while Raphael the healer worked tirelessly to mend the scars left by the chaos. Together, these three archangels, Michael's strength, Gabriel's divine sound, and Raphael's healing power, became an unstoppable force, driving the rebellion to its breaking point. Phase 3, judgment and mercy. In the final phase, the Watchers and their allies were brought to judgment. Victory was not achieved through brute strength alone, but through the overwhelming power of divine order. Michael, ever merciful even in triumph, carried out God's will. The fallen angels were chained in darkness, destined to await their final reckoning. The aftermath of this celestial battle rippled far beyond heaven. On earth, the absence of the Watchers left humanity to grow naturally, free from the premature influence of divine knowledge. Though this created challenges, it was also a chance for humanity to forge its own destiny. The Ethiopian Bible emphasizes that this conflict is more than a tale of war. It's a profound lesson about the delicate balance between free will and divine order. It serves as a reminder that even the most perfect beings can stray when they place personal desires above universal harmony. It also highlights the strength of loyalty and faith, showing that preserving a higher order often requires great sacrifice and difficult decisions. For us today, this story holds timeless lessons about power, responsibility, and wisdom. Not all actions born of good intentions lead to good outcomes. Progress, when pursued recklessly, can upset the fragile balance of order. The war in heaven is not just a story of victory and defeat. It is a metaphor for the eternal tension between ambition and stability, freedom and harmony, personal desires and the greater good. Its lessons resonate across the ages, reminding us that true wisdom lies in knowing when to act and when to honor the boundaries that maintain balance in the universe. Throughout the history of religious thought, no question has ignited more debate or reflection than the relationship between free will and sin. The story of the fallen angels from the Ethiopian Bible raises a profound and timeless question. Is free will the most sacred gift from the divine? Or is it the root of all suffering and sin? In classical theology, Augustine of Hippo offered a perspective that has endured for centuries. He argued that free will is essential for true moral value. Without the ability to choose, virtue would be hollow, a mere illusion. Yet, this very freedom also opens the door to sin. Later, Thomas Aquinas built upon this idea, asserting that free will is more than just a privilege. It is a reflection of God's image within us. The ability to choose, he said, is a sacred responsibility. When angels or humans misuse this gift, they not only sin, but betray their own noble nature. In modern times, theologian Alvin Plantinga introduced the free will defense, suggesting that even an omnipotent God could not create a world with free will without also allowing for the possibility of sin. This reveals a deep paradox. True freedom must always include the potential for error. Across major religious traditions, the concept of free will is consistent, yet interpretations of sin vary widely, offering diverse insights into the consequences of misusing this sacred gift. In Christianity, sin is viewed as a rupture in the relationship with God. This is powerfully illustrated in the stories of Adam and Eve and Lucifer's rebellion. Sin is more than just wrongdoing. It is a rejection of God's love and order. Christian theology emphasizes pride as the root of all sin, the desire to elevate oneself to equality with God. In Judaism, sin takes on a slightly different tone. Rather than rebellion, it is seen as straying from the righteous path. Jewish teachings describe two inclinations within every person: the Yetzer HaTov, the inclination toward good, and the Yetzer Hara, the inclination toward evil. The ethical struggle between these forces is considered an inherent part of human nature and a cornerstone of moral life. In Islam, the concept of sin centers on the idea of fitra, humanity's innate disposition toward goodness. Sin is seen not as an inseparable part of human nature, but as a deviation from this divine essence. The story of Iblis, Satan in Islam, is a powerful example. When Iblis refused to bow to Adam, his sin was born not from rebellion alone, but from arrogance, a denial of the value God had placed in his creation. These varying interpretations offer profound lessons for modern society. They remind us that freedom and power are inseparable from responsibility. In a world of growing technological and societal capabilities, the exercise of power requires ethical accountability more than ever before. Ultimately, the great insight shared by religious traditions is this: the greater the power, the greater the responsibility. And the line between the rightful use of freedom and its abuse is far more fragile than we might assume. As we move into the next section on academic debates, these reflections will help us critically assess the enduring relevance of ancient texts and their wisdom in navigating today's complex ethical challenges. If you were tasked with uncovering the true meaning of the fall, where would you begin? This is the question modern theologians wrestle with as they examine the narratives of Lucifer and the fallen angels. Like patient archaeologists digging through layers of history, these scholars seek hidden truths buried within ancient texts, hoping to unravel the mysteries of power, rebellion, and divine purpose. In her groundbreaking work, The Origin of Satan, Elaine Pagels offers a transformative perspective. She argues that the story of Lucifer is not merely about good versus evil. Instead, it's a profound metaphor, one that reflects humanity's struggles with power, authority, and the inevitability of change. To Pagels, Lucifer is not just the prideful rebel, but a symbol of the complexities that arise when societal structures are challenged. N.T. Wright, another prominent voice, reframes the story of Lucifer as a tragic misunderstanding rather than a simple act of defiance. Wright emphasizes that power and responsibility are inseparable, and when that balance is lost, catastrophe follows. To him, the fall is not just rebellion, it is a cautionary tale about the misuse of divine gifts. Then there are the voices preserved in the Ethiopian Bible and the Book of Enoch, texts that stand apart from Western canonical traditions. These writings, long excluded from the Western Christian canon, serve as a mirror to the past, preserving an independent theological tradition. They reveal how different cultures interpreted the divine-human relationship, offering insights that challenge the more familiar Western narratives. George W. E. Nicholsburg, a leading scholar of ancient Jewish and Christian texts, highlights the unique significance of the Ethiopian Bible. He asserts that these texts are more than just alternate versions. They represent a distinct worldview, offering unparalleled insights into early Christian and Jewish thought. Their preservation in Ethiopia, Nicholsburg argues, reflects a deliberate theological independence, one that enriches our understanding of the origins and evolution of faith. James H. Charlesworth examines why texts like the Book of Enoch were excluded from the Western canon. His research suggests the reasons were less about the authenticity of these texts and more about the political and theological decisions made during the 4th century. Through this lens, the Ethiopian Bible becomes a treasure trove, offering a glimpse into an alternate Christian history that challenges the dominant Western narrative. Meanwhile, John J. Collins explores the Ethiopian Bible's nuanced portrayal of angels and their relationship with humanity. Collins argues that these texts go far beyond the simplistic dichotomy of good versus evil, painting a far richer and more complex picture of the divine, the human, and the tension between them. They remind us that sin, redemption, and divine grace are far more intricate than we might assume. But studying these texts is about more than historical curiosity. It forces us to confront questions that resonate even today. Should we broaden our understanding of religious traditions to include diverse voices and forgotten perspectives? What can the Ethiopian Bible teach us about the nature of belief, the evolution of religion, and humanity's endless search for divine truth? These ancient writings challenge us to rethink the rigid boundaries between heaven and earth, inviting us into a worldview that is far more dynamic and interconnected. Perhaps by rediscovering the wisdom preserved in these texts, we can confront the modern challenges of faith with humility, curiosity, and a deeper appreciation for the mysteries that lie at the heart of the divine. Like fragments of a grand mosaic, each version of the story of Lucifer offers a unique glimpse into the greatest celestial fall in religious history. From the familiar account in the Western Bible to the profound revelations in the Ethiopian Bible and the Book of Enoch, we see that this is not a simple tale. It is a narrative of complexity and multidimensionality. In the widely known Western version, Lucifer represents pride and rebellion, a radiant angel whose ambition eclipsed his loyalty. But through the lens of the Book of Enoch, the story takes on a deeper meaning. Here, we meet the Watchers, angels who, despite knowing the consequences, chose to share sacred knowledge with humanity. Their actions were not driven by arrogance, but by a desire to give humanity something divine, even at the cost of their own place in heaven. This diversity in interpretation doesn't diminish the story's value, it enriches it. Each version sheds light on profound truths, the delicate balance between power and responsibility. the tension between free will and the consequences of choice, and the enduring importance of loyalty and humility. To explore these perspectives is like embarking on a journey of enlightenment. Each step, each discovery brings us closer to a more holistic understanding of the divine and our place within its order. This approach is especially vital in today's world, a world where the complexities of faith and ethics demand multidimensional methods of reflection. But this journey of discovery does not end here. The Ethiopian Bible, the Book of Enoch, and countless other ancient texts still hold secrets waiting to be unearthed. The work of scholars like Elaine Pagels, with her exploration of the deeper metaphors of Lucifer, and N.T. Wright, with his insights into the tragedy of misunderstanding divine purpose, remind us that these stories are not relics of the past. They are mirrors reflecting truths that are as relevant today as they were millennia ago. Truth is rarely simple, and it is seldom comfortable. Yet, it is through seeking and confronting diverse perspectives that we can approach a deeper understanding of the essence of faith, of the meaning of power and responsibility, and of humanity's relentless quest for divine meaning.